They say that by the soft, shimmering light of moonlit rivers, a woman sits quietly, her long, flowing hair cascading like a waterfall as she carefully combs it with gentle, deliberate movements. Her demeanor calm and serene, almost otherworldly in its enchantment. Her beauty is so captivating, so utterly bewitching, that anyone fortunate enough to catch even a glimpse of her radiant face finds themselves utterly spellbound. Yet beneath this tranquil and mesmerizing exterior lies a deeper, more complex tale, one woven with threads of longing, desire, and the inexorable pull of fate that shapes her life in ways unseen by those who admire her from afar. Kwame's eyes locked onto hers with an intense, unwavering gaze, drawing her in as if they shared an unspoken secret. Yet, when she glanced down at the still water below, the reflection staring back was not the same. There, his image was altered, almost sinister. His once vibrant youth seemed to have withered away, replaced by a weary, aged presence. His eyes, which in reality held warmth and life, appeared cloudy and obscure in the mirrored surface, as if holding a hidden, unnatural darkness. It was as though beneath the beautiful exterior lay a subtle yet powerful warning, cleverly disguised behind the mask of charm and allure, hinting at something much more dangerous and unsettling lurking beneath the surface. Kwame's hands trembled uncontrollably as he gripped the paddle tightly. The rhythmic splash of water against the canoe filling the quiet air around him. His heart pounded fiercely in his chest, a relentless mix of greed and hope driving each stroke forward. Far beyond the familiar boundaries of his village, a shimmering promise of unimaginable wealth lay just within his grasp, tantalizing and vivid in his mind's eye. Yet beneath the glittering surface of this newfound opportunity, there lurked an unspoken truth, a hidden cost that threatened to overshadow the prosperity he so desperately sought, a price that could change everything he had ever known. The night stretched endlessly before him, sleepless and haunted by restless, vivid dreams that refused to let go. In the shadows of his mind, he saw her smile clearly, enigmatic and unreadable, carrying an overwhelming weight as if it held countless unspoken promises that tugged at his heart. It was a smile that both beckoned and warned, leaving him fascinated yet unsettled. Her presence was like that of a goddess, ethereal and commanding, her touch still lingering on his skin, leaving a trace that felt both tender and inevitable. That lingering sensation was a mark, a symbol of a destiny yet to be revealed, a fate on the horizon that would soon sweep through his life and transform everything he thought he knew. Mami Wata's gentle voice carried softly on the breeze, whispering secrets only the wind could understand. Her delicate fingers lightly brushed against Kwame's forehead, creating an unspoken connection between them. This touch was more than mere contact. It was the beginning of a profound bond, one forged through a delicate balance of generosity and sacrifice. In that moment, her mystical power intertwined with his fate, weaving the threads of his destiny in subtle patterns only she could command. All of this unfolded quietly by the edge of the river, where water and land met, and where the future awaited to be shaped by the ancient forces she embodied. The river underwent an astonishing transformation, its waters now gleaming and sparkling as if infused with pure gold and strewn with countless precious jewels that caught the light in dazzling bursts. "I can offer you everything you desire," she whispered with an alluring promise that resonated deep within Kwame's heart. The temptation of endless riches and boundless wealth so thoroughly swallowed his lingering hesitation and skepticism that all traces of doubt vanished like shadows at dawn. Overcome by the fierce pull of greed, Kwame gave a slow, deliberate nod, a silent agreement that irrevocably bound him to his destiny, sealing his fate in that single, fateful moment. "A promise," she whispered softly, her voice both enticing and heavy with unspoken consequence. "But it comes with a price." The words hung in the air like a delicate yet dangerous thread, pulling at the edges of his resolve. His heart suddenly began to thunder in his chest, each beat faster than the last, betraying the calm exterior he once wore so effortlessly. Here stood a rational man, one who prided himself on logic and control, now ensnared in an intricate and perilous web woven by desire and uncertainty. He felt himself being drawn, irresistibly and inexorably, deeper and deeper into the depths of temptation, compelled by the goddess's eyes, hypnotic pools brimming with ancient secrets and promises too potent to resist. "Who are you?" Kwame whispered softly, his voice barely more than a breath as he hesitantly reached out his hand toward the faint, shimmering figure before him. But before he could make contact, she dissolved into nothingness, vanishing as effortlessly and silently as morning mist dissipating under the rising sun. In her place, there lingered a quiet, unspoken warning that hung heavy in the air. A subtle reminder that wealth, while it might seem like a dazzling gift, could just as easily be a hidden curse, lurking beneath the surface of her calm, undulating waves, waiting to pull those who sought it beneath the depths. Back in his humble village, Kwame's fishing nets were constantly bursting at the seams, brimming with an overwhelming haul that seemed to multiply with every new day. His wealth increased steadily, dawn after dawn, as the river, generous and bountiful, provided him with more fish than he could have ever imagined. Yet despite this overflowing abundance, beneath the surface of his growing prosperity, something far more unsettling and shadowy began to awaken within him, a restless, hidden force that lurked in the depths beyond his visible success, quietly stirring in the background of his flourishing life. His body had undergone a transformation that was anything but natural, muscles bulging with newfound strength, veins pulsating with the energy of hard-won fortune. Yet beneath this surface of power and success lay an undeniable cost, a toll extracted by forces lurking just beyond the light. Every time he made a catch, every time his hands closed around an opportunity, it wasn't just the thrill of victory he felt. There was a subtle murmur, a quiet whisper that clawed at the edges of his consciousness. These whispers carried secrets he never asked for, haunting reminders that the prosperity he now enjoyed was not without its own dangers. In truth, this wealth and might came with a hunger of their own, a shadowy appetite that fed on him as much as he fed on it, binding him in a relentless, unspoken bargain. Merchants admired the sheer magnitude of his wealth, marveling openly at the vastness of his fortune and the luxury that surrounded him. Yet behind the scenes, there were murmurs and quiet conversations that trailed in his wake like shadows. Some whispered that his riches were not mere happenstance or the result of hard work, but rather unnatural gifts bestowed by forces beyond normal understanding. Others believed that the mysterious presence of Mami Wata, the enigmatic water spirit, perpetually hovered near him, her gaze fixed unwaveringly upon his soul, observing him in ways invisible to everyone else. These rumors cast a veil of suspicion and eerie fascination over the man's extraordinary prosperity, as if his success came at a price or under the watchful eyes of something otherworldly and inscrutable. The air grew dense and heavy, filled with the sweet, intoxicating scents of jasmine and warm honey, signaling the goddess's presence nearby. It was as if the very atmosphere had shifted, charged with a quiet yet undeniable power. A curious wind began to stir, gently rippling across the river's surface in delicate waves, almost as if the river were alive, breathing softly, exhaling secrets long kept. That moving water seemed to cradle countless tales, whispered through time, stories woven with both blessings that nurtured life and ruins that shattered worlds, all carried silently beneath the shimmering light. Kwame found himself caught in a relentless internal battle, torn between the exhilaration and the burden of his newfound desires. He couldn't stop wondering if this sudden wealth that had come into his life was truly a blessing meant to elevate him, or rather a subtle, creeping curse, quietly weaving its way into his existence, threatening to unravel all he held dear. Each evening, as he sat by the river, its surface sparkling under the fading light, the shimmering secrets hidden beneath the water's calm exterior seemed to reach out and tug at the very depths of his soul. It was as if the river was calling him, drawing him closer and closer with an irresistible force, pulling him toward a path shrouded in mystery and uncertainty, a fate he could neither see clearly nor fully comprehend. This tug was maddening and magnetic, beckoning him into the unknown with a mixture of allure and dread, leaving him suspended between hope and fear for what the future might hold. Rumors spread and grew rapidly, unfolding and swelling, much like storm clouds gather in force and darkness on the horizon. Many whispered that Mami Wata's favor was not always a gentle blessing, but could become wild and unpredictable, like a sudden tempest stirred by restless winds. Those who gained her favor found that their fortunes could surge upward like powerful ocean waves, lifting them high and bright in moments of dazzling success. However, the very same tide that raised them up held the danger of crashing down with equal ferocity, dragging a man violently beneath the gleaming surface and plunging him into the cold, murky shadows far below. In this way, the blessings of Mami Wata were said to be as capricious as the sea itself, capable of lifting a person toward heights of prosperity and then sweeping them away into darkness. Kwame, who had once lived a simple and modest life, had transformed dramatically over the years. Gone were the days when he walked without fanfare or flourish. Now he moved through his world, draped in luxurious silk and shining gold, a striking symbol of his newfound status and wealth. This transformation earned him a complex reputation. He was a figure who inspired awe and commanded respect, but also stirred unease among those who observed him. The people who lived near him, even those who had been his closest neighbors and friends, found themselves speaking in hushed tones about the changes he had undergone. Whispers floated through the village about how the balance and peace that once existed seemed to have withered away, replaced by a growing tension directly linked to the ever-expanding fortune he amassed. In these stories, woven from fear and admiration alike, Kwame's rise to prominence was inseparable from the fading sense of harmony that once defined their community. The mortal world he had always known, and some elusive, divine presence that called to him from beyond. His gaze revealed the weight of holding these two opposing forces within himself, a man forever changed, caught between being fully human and somehow touched by something far greater and more enigmatic. Null, roll, assistant. On a dark and restless night, the river seemed to rise up in fierce rebellion against all who dared to cross its path. Kwame found himself locked in a desperate battle against the wild, angry currents that twisted and roared around him. His limbs flailed uncontrollably, struggling to find purchase as they clawed frantically at the swirling water that sought to drag him under. Every desperate shout he managed to utter was instantly swallowed by the thick, unforgiving darkness of the night. It was as if the river itself had taken on the merciless form of Mami Wata, the fierce water spirit, holding him in a cruel and unyielding grip from which there was no escape. Beneath the calm and placid surface of the water, faint yet persistent whispers drifted, voices of forgotten souls that had been lost to time and memory, endlessly circling in an unseen vortex. Mami Wata's influence extended far beyond mere riches and material wealth. Her true power lay in the mysterious and unyielding hold she maintained over these souls. They were caught in a perpetual, unbreakable bond, engaged in an eternal and haunting dance that swayed precariously between the heights of blessing and the depths of doom, never able to escape the delicate balance between salvation and despair. When the first light of dawn finally broke across the horizon, Kwame was still alive. Though his body bore the marks of transformation, he was unmistakably breathing, a fragile testament to survival. The entire village seemed to exhale collectively, yet remained suspended in a tense stillness, held captive by a complex mix of emotions. Relief washed over them like a gentle tide, but beneath it lay an undercurrent of unease and dread, for they all understood too well that the cost of fortune rarely reveals itself openly. The price demanded often remains hidden, lurking quietly in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to surface and remind them of the true consequences that lay beneath the fragile gift of life. The bustling markets were overflowing with an abundance of fish and sparkling treasure, their stalls laden with the riches of the sea. Word of Kwame's remarkable success and growing fame spread far and wide, reaching distant villages and bustling towns alike. People marveled at his fortune and the wonders he brought forth. However, beneath the glittering surface of wealth and admiration, there were hushed whispers and uneasy murmurs among the people. They spoke in cautious tones about the mysterious and unnatural power that seemed to surround Kwame, a power that connected him ever more deeply and inseparably to the enchanted, enigmatic realm of Mami Wata. This unseen bond, though cloaked in secrecy, seemed to tighten its hold on Kwame with each passing day, weaving him ever closer into the watery goddess's world beyond the mortal plane. His nets never returned empty, always glistening with the radiant shimmer of countless possibilities and hope. Each time he cast them into the water, they emerged brimming with fish, a dazzling bounty that seemed almost too good to be true. Yet, beneath this wondrous gift lay an unspoken burden, a silent chain that clinked faintly but persistently in the depths of Kwame's heart. With every abundant catch hauled from the depths, an invisible weight pressed down harder on his soul, tightening a tether that bound him ever more firmly to a destiny he found impossible to break free from, no matter how desperately he might wish to. With brilliant, radiant jewels shimmered and sparkled brightly in his firm grasp, their dazzling light tempting him irresistibly while their icy touch sent a chill through his fingers. Each gem was more than just a treasure. With every sparkling stone he held, a darker shadow crept in, growing deeper and more ominous around him. It was a constant, unavoidable reminder that Mami Wata's blessings were not given lightly or without strings. Her power wrapped around him tightly and completely, binding him in ways he could neither escape nor fully understand, whether he desired this bond or fiercely wished it away. In the depths of Kwame's dreams, Mami Wata emerged, a figure woven from both solace and shadow, embodying a presence that was at once a source of deep comfort and an undeniable undercurrent of menace. Her enchanting beauty and magnetic charm captivated Kwame's heart utterly, drawing him in with a spellbinding allure that felt both irresistible and profoundly mysterious. Yet lurking just beneath the surface of her beguiling smile, a quiet whisper of unease stirred, a subtle but persistent reminder that all was not as it seemed, that behind her captivating eyes there lay an enigmatic danger waiting in the wings, a tension that balanced delicately with the spell she cast over his soul. Wealth that grows without deep, sturdy roots is bound to bring nothing but disaster and downfall. The tale of Kwame was passed from one generation to the next, each retelling adding layers to the warning, turning his experience into a powerful legend. It became more than just a story. It was a living part of the community's heritage, a lesson carefully stitched into the fabric of the village's collective memory. Those who paid attention to the elders' voices came to understand that Kwame's fate was not just his own, but a guiding example of the dangers of prosperity without foundation, a moral compass for all who hope to thrive without losing their way. Standing by the side of the radiant, shimmering river, Kwame's heart became a battlefield where two powerful emotions clashed fiercely. On one hand, there was an intense yearning for something greater, a desire to reach beyond the familiar and grasp the possibilities that lay just out of reach. On the other hand, a deep fear lurked within him, the dread of the dark shadows lurking silently beneath the sparkling waves, threatening to pull him under and drown his hopes. This inner conflict tore at him, each beat of his heart echoing the struggle between hope and hesitation, ambition and caution, light and darkness. Mami Wata's power seemed boundless, stretching out infinitely and moving with the fluidity of flowing water, sometimes gently nurturing those who sought her favor, offering life and abundance, while at other times overwhelming and drowning those who dared cross her or underestimated her might. Within the mysterious depths she commanded, prosperity and peril were forever linked, twisting and mingling like unpredictable swirling currents that could lift one up to great heights or drag one down into unseen dangers far below the surface. "You promised more," he cried into the night. But the river held only silence, a chill rippling through water and soul, marking the boundaries of his desire. The village watched and waited, torn between awe and dread. Kwame's rise and fall whispered through generations, a testament to Mami Wata's mercy. Even now, the river breathes her legacy, ripples of gold and jasmine scent drifting, reminding all that blessings from Mami Wata are never without a sting. That reflections reveal more than face, regret, longing, and wisdom born from fires of desire and consequence, a man forever changed by Mami Wata's touch. At daybreak, she fades like mist, elusive and eternal. Her lessons, carved in legends, continue to challenge those who dream too deeply by her waters. Kwame's journey ended where it began, by the river's gentle roar, a reminder that desire's ripple can wash away even the strongest man. The Niger flows on, carrying tales of Mami Wata, giver and taker, goddess of dual nature, whose blessings illuminate and consume in equal measure. Mami Wata's legend endures, mystery, power, and warning entwined. May her story inspire caution and awe for the gifts and shadows we see.